Hello there.
General Kenobi.
We meet again for the final time
Yes, the final time for right now until they make it a second season.
until they decide to bring back Darth Maul again or
Yes.
General Grievous. Maybe they'll bring back General Grievous for season 2.
Yeah, he's not dead yet. We
He'll
can actually
he'll
see his body.
he'll come back to life because he saw all those lightsabers. What was that, episode 4 or something? They had those crates full of lightsabers.
Yeah.
Grievous smelled that from wherever he's buried.
Yes, and he came
like,
back.
Yes, make a fine addition to my collection.
Yes.
All right, so anyway, episode 6, cleverly titled Part 6. This is the finale of Obi Wan Kenobi.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened in the final episode of Obi Wan Kenobi?
There was an epic lightsaber fight.
yes, there was a really good lightsaber fight. Could have been much better.
Yes.
Thankfully, you can see that version on YouTube, at least currently. Hasn't been taken down
yet. Yeah, Disney. I'm sure Disney has their lawyers coming.
Yes. So we'll talk about the true villain of the show, which is whoever did the post-production editing.
Yes.
But yeah, so this episode starts with what I believe Vader in the Star Destroyer chasing after Kenobi and company in their
because I think that it's like it basically starts right with episode 5 ends off.
Right. Does it start with that, or does it start with Reva on Tatooine? I can't remember which.
Oh, I think it was Reva because I think the alpaca, whatever that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we need to talk about that.
Like it's like the very first scene you see is like the alpaca.
Right. Yeah. So the opening, the title screen appears. It says Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then it fades away, and then the episode begins, and the very first thing we see is an actual literal llama.
Yeah.
Just walk across the screen.
Yeah.
It's just a llama. It's like,
yeah, they didn't try to change it at all.
You're not even trying anymore, Disney. Like, I know people had complained about this show because there's no aliens. There are very few aliens. They're like, why is there so many humans? Like, there's not enough alien representation, I guess.
Yeah.
Except for Theodore Rex in episode 2. But
yeah, that's true.
So people were basically, what people were saying is they were complaining about the low budget, because that's an obvious way to get around budgetary constraints, is just have a bunch of humans instead of having to actually make aliens.
Yeah.
And now we have a literal llama. That I've never seen that in Star Wars. Like, I guess
that's
I guess we've had horses in Star Wars before, but I still feel like they did something to them to make them space horses or whatever.
Space horses.
This was literally just a llama.
Yeah, it was. They didn't even try at that point.
No. And the way it walks across the screen was very George Lucas, because that's something like you would see a Ronto do or something in the special editions, but this is just an actual llama.
Maybe they'll George Lucas it later on.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, they'll replace it with like a Ronto's butt covering the screen.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which literally happens in A New Hope special edition.
Yeah.
Or Ronto's, just a big Ronto's ass just covers the entire frame.
Yes.
So anyway, yeah. So llama walks past, which I say means that Emperor Kuzco is canon to the Star Wars timeline now. And Reva shows up. So how she got there, who knows?
Yeah, because I think that one guy, it's like the one guy from the very first episode, like I don't know if he's like a foreman or just the neighborhood bully at this point.
Yeah, basically at this point.
I don't know, he goes walks in front of all the line of water. He's like, just do something. He takes some water, just like this. I just like this, like, who is this guy? Like, what is wrong with him?
Yeah.
Do something.
Yeah, it's like, what is this guy's deal?
Yeah. And then Reva shows up and it's like, I don't know, did she force push him or just push it just like literally just like punches the bully and he just like backs down? Like,
yeah,
maybe that was like an allegory of bullies. It's like, if you fight them, they just crumble.
Yeah. And
I don't. Did she force push him, or did
I
she
think
just...
she did something. I can't remember
Okay.
what she did, but yeah, she looking remarkably healthy
Yeah.
for someone who just got stabbed in the chest with a lightsaber. I mean, she like limps around a bit, but not much considering what just happened to her. And she apparently teleports to Tatooine, but she's been teleporting through the whole show.
Has
so
forced teleport.
Yeah.
She has her waypoint set, so she just
exactly
fast travels.
Well, she's able to fast travel because our good friend Smitty gave her coordinates.
That is true.
In his stupid video message that he left last week.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, she goes to Tatooine to go after Luke for whatever reason.
Yeah, that doesn't kind of explain, but it's like that's a stupid reason.
Yeah, I didn't even understand why she was doing it at first, but then I guess she's doing it to get at Vader. So she's like, "I'm gonna kill your son."
Yeah, just
whatever.
like you killed all those other younglings, I'm gonna kill
your
youngling.
Like Anakin doesn't even know he has a kid at this point in the timeline, so she's what's she gonna do? She's gonna kill Luke, and then she's gonna go to Vader and be like, "I killed your son," and he'd be like, "What son?"
And then just stab her. It's like, I thought I stabbed you.
Stab her again. Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
He doesn't even say anything. He just walks up to her and stabs her.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like a dumb, not a great plan.
No.
Maybe. So it kind of cuts back and there's two storylines.
Yeah.
One is Reva on Tatooine that like slows the show down to a crawl. And then the other is Obi-Wan and Vader. So now Vader's in the Star Destroyer chasing Obi-Wan, who's in that tiny little transport ship.
Yeah.
And they're firing all their guns. And apparently the ship's invincible.
Yeah.
We're doing the Last Jedi thing again, where we're in super slow chase across the galaxy. And Obi-Wan decides that he's going to get into a drop ship and then leave.
Because the ship, I guess, the hyperdrive is destroyed on the ship, and they're trying to fix it or something like that. And he's like, this should be the plan.
For some reason, the hyperdrive is damaged.
Yeah, I know.
Because remember, Vader didn't grab that one. He grabbed the other one.
Yes.
So did they use the broken ship and then accidentally use the one that worked as a decoy?
Yes. So they probably thought they probably have both the ships right next to each other. Like, oh, I forgot which one was which.
They're like, one doesn't work, so we won't use that one, and they all pile into the one that's broken.
Yeah.
So so for some reason the hyperdrive doesn't work. Kenobi's like, well, I'll just get in an escape pod or like another drop ship or whatever, and then Vader will go after me, which will allow you to escape. Yeah. Which works because Vader's a moron.
Yeah.
Because he's like, we need to concentrate all attention on Kenobi, and then
even the Grand Inquisitor is like, we need to stop let's leave him. We need to stop this resistance now.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
He's not just any Jedi. It's like, okay.
Okay,
like,
fine. But like Kenobi gets in a dropship and flies down to this weird rock planet, and then Vader diverts the entire Star Destroyer to go after Kenobi.
Yeah.
They're shooting at him, which you think Vader would get mad about.
Yeah.
Because what if they kill him and then Vader doesn't get to have his duel?
Yeah.
So why are they shooting at him? Second off, Vader gets in his Lambda shuttle and follows him to the planet, and he wants to fight him like mano a mano.
Yeah, he's like, alone. I would go alone.
Yeah, I will go alone. But okay, cool. But why are you dragging the entire Star Destroyer along? You could easily have the Star Destroyer continue to chase the other ship while you get in your shuttle and chase Kenobi.
Yes.
It's stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird plan. It's like, Vader, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Meanwhile, that Inquisitor is just like not a great plan.
Yeah, it's like,
I don't want to get choked to death.
Like, I don't want to stomach because of this.
I don't want to lose my other stomach, so I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
But he's just bat there like biting his tongue,
Yeah.
trying not to mouth off and get killed.
Like
But-
he was like the only sane person here.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
So
Vader.
we never see the Star Destroyer again or anybody else. Like I guess they all make it outweigh because we do see Leia later.
Yeah.
But this is where the story splits into two things. Well, it's always been two things, but the two main story beats. So we end up with Vader versus Kenobi on Rock Planet, and Reva chasing after
Geode's world. That was Geode's land.
Yeah, Geode's home world. And then Reva chasing after Luke, which keeps interrupting the fight.
Yeah, they have it like interspersed, and it's like,
Because it slows everything to crawl. But I guess we'll talk about Reva first. Get that out of the way. So Reva goes to the Lars homestead, and she's trying to kill Luke. But we find out that Owen and Beru are apparently ultimate badasses.
Yeah. Fighting off Jedi.
They're fighting off a dark
Sith.
Jedi with their like crappy
guns. It's like a Tatooine shotgun or something. I don't even know what that was.
Yeah, it was like a weird
Gun.
sawed-off blaster or something.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder if because in A New Hope they just die by stormtroopers, but like the homestead looks pretty beat up. So I wonder if there was some like this massive firefight, and Beru and Owen actually took down like a whole platoon of stormtroopers on their own before they finally got gunned down.
Got flamethrowered in the middle of the
apparently.
desert. Yeah.
Because they're just burning corpses.
Yeah, for no, it's like they don't ever do that ever.
No.
It's like the only time they done it was this time.
Yeah. No disintegration. Yeah, so apparently Owen and Beru are able to hold their own for a while against Reva. But then Reva, see, this is why I don't understand Reva, because she's there with this ruthless intention to murder a 10-year-old boy.
Yeah.
But she can't kill Owen and Beru.
Yeah, I know.
Like, she could have easily killed both of them because, yeah, they're tough, but she does get the better of them eventually. And Beru just, like, slaps her.
Yeah, and she just runs away. It's like...
Yeah. And, like, Reva doesn't do anything. So it's like, you'd think if she was on the warpath to murder a child, she wouldn't be above killing their guardians.
Yeah, just kill Beru and Uncle Owen there.
They do figure out a dumb way to contrive it so Luke doesn't see the lightsaber, though. So they did work that in. Because that breaks canon if Luke sees a lightsaber.
That is true, because when you see Obi Wan, that's like the first time he saw it. It's like, what is this?
Yeah, and he's sitting there looking into the opening of the lightsaber.
Yeah, I know.
Kill himself.
Like, what does this button do?
What's this doing? And Alec Guinness is just sitting there with this look on his face, like, this is a mistake.
Yeah.
I should have stayed with the girl.
Yeah, it's like, we've lost.
Then the Emperor has already won. I think he said, doesn't Obi-Wan say that in like Return of the Jedi or something?
Yeah, I think he does.
Because I think Luke's like, I can't kill my own father, and then Obi-Wan's like, then the Emperor has already won.
Yeah. And the Emperor has already won.
Luke just picks up a lightsaber, just like ignites it through his skull. Obi-Wan's just like, well, the Empire has already won.
Yeah. It's like, I'm glad I fought and got off the planet at least once.
Yeah, I'm glad I did something and just wait for this kid for 20 years.
Yeah.
Glad I spent all that time cutting myself off from the Force so that I'd be in top shape to train this kid.
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense too.
Yeah, that sounds kind of weird.
So then Reva chases Luke around. Eventually, Luke falls off a cliff and gets a concussion.
Yeah, I know. He didn't even get forced push. He just fell off.
He just fell on his own.
He's just like a klutz.
Yeah. And then Reva is standing there with her lightsaber out, but Luke's unconscious, so he doesn't see the lightsaber. But then she keeps seeing Luke as herself.
Yeah, why is this like that one didn't make any sense?
Well, it's because she's like remembering Order 66 or whatever.
She should have like remembered someone else, like her friend or something, like that kid in the beginning.
Right. Yeah.
Not her, like herself. Like, okay.
That's true. Yeah. But I understand why they did that.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, well, if I do this, I'm no better than Anakin.
Yeah, then I'll be Anakin.
Which you aren't any better than Anakin because you've been killing innocent people the entire
time. I know. You are the most ruthless person. You're even more ruthless than the Inquisitors that are like been doing this for years.
The Inquisitors keep shoving her against the wall in some back alley, being like, "What is your problem?"
It's like, stop killing everyone.
Like, stop it.
Like, we're trying to be more people friendly, not killing everyone.
Yeah, this is that new image that the Inquisitors are trying to go for.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's pretty much the Reva story. And then back on Rock Planet, we get in my opinion, one of, if not the best lightsaber fight ever.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That's a pretty decent lightsaber fight.
Really surprised me coming out of this show.
Yeah.
Because it is phenomenal.
After the first lightsaber fight, which was not very good.
No, that one sucks. But this one is amazing. And like somebody with a martial arts background and stuff, the techniques being used are at least plausible. And we don't start it with like a 30-foot backflip. At no point are they swinging from vines like Tarzan.
I thought he was going to say, I have the high ground.
Yeah, he should, because Vader does have the high ground at one point.
Yeah, he's like, I have the high ground.
So, but yeah, it's a really good fight. I do like how in this series in particular, well, they have Kenobi doing Aikido, which is the martial art I practice. So I thought that was cool. But they also, if you notice when they're fighting, a lot of times they fight one-handed, but they use their other hand to like parry blows and like.
Yeah, I know. Like Vader did that a couple times. It was like
Kenobi does too. Like Vader like has Kenobi pinned down or whatever, and then Kenobi turns and he like disengages Vader's hand from him. Like it's really fast-paced choreography, and it's well done.
And I guess that would make sense if you're like lightsaber. If you're two Jedi, that makes sense. You would use like the Force to block stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't think they ever use that in any of the shows or anything like that, or the game or anything like that. It's like, I think that would make sense that they would use the Force to block things, like block sword blows.
Right. Yeah. This fight is so good.
Yeah, it's really decent. That's like definitely the highlight of the series in general.
Oh, for sure. And the way we get a really emotional moment at the end, because like Obi-Wan wins. And
I think this one definitely has some emotional weight to it. This fight in particular, which a lot of, I think, is that what a lot of the lightsaber fights like are. A lot of them are supposed to be about like emotional weight and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's part of the story
more than the actual fight itself. But
yeah, because this one's a really great fight. But then at the end, you get all this emotional sequence where you have Hayden and Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan cuts his helmet open, which already happened in Rebels, but we're gonna do it again, I guess. And here, so now we could get like Anakin or Hayden can actually emote because we can see his face.
Yeah, I can see his face, and the makeup is, I don't know if was that CGI or was that makeup?
It might have been a mixture
of both.
I think it may have been both, but I think it was mostly makeup.
I do kind of like how when he's talking, it's like going in and out between Vader's voice and like his voice.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Because like Obi-Wan destroyed his little, I don't know, voice. I don't know what that thing is on the front of his chest.
Oh yeah, that modular thing. Yeah, he busts that open with like the hilt. Which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, and just destroying his thing, and he's like can't breathe. He's like wheezing because it's like breathing apparatus or something.
Right. Yeah. That whole fight is amazing. Like I could talk about that fight forever. But and then at the end, you get the emotional exchange where he sees Anakin, and
he doesn't see the machine.
Right. And Ewan acts his ass off in this scene.
Yeah.
With like I'm sorry, Anakin. I'm sorry for everything. And like all that. And he's like on the verge of crying. And Anakin says something. I think he's trying to say it he's not saying it to make Kenobi feel better, but I think it actually has an unintended consequence of giving Kenobi closure, at least.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I'm not your failure, Obi-Wan. You didn't kill Anakin. I did.
I did.
Which goes into what he says to Luke, about how Darth Vader betrayed and murdered your father.
Yeah.
And he says it's true from a certain point of view, but now we know that when Luke complains and says, you told me he killed my father or whatever, and Obi-Wan could be like, well, that's literally what he said to me. So
Yeah, he told him, like, he killed him. He killed that part. There is no Anakin anymore.
He's like, oh,
Just Darth Vader.
I asked him, and that's literally what he told me. So I don't know what you want, kid.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, now we get that sequence. But him saying that gives Kenobi closure.
Yeah.
Because he's been on this guilt trip for 20 years.
Like one of the one scenes before then when he's like in the pit getting all those rocks, it keeps hearing of like the Anakin fight or whatever from before.
Yeah.
Like a failure type of thing. And he's like getting strength because of Leia or whatever.
Also, getting some mixed signals from Vader this season because he's like, I'm not your failure, Kenobi. And then like 3 episodes ago, he's like, I am what you made me.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I am what you made me. Like like a failure, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like, wait, what?
Like, what are you talking about, Vader?
But he's a little confused.
Tell them robotics.
Yeah. And then we get essentially a repeat of episode 3 where Vader's screaming at him. He's like, I'm gonna kill you or whatever. Like, I'll destroy you. And then Kenobi just walks away from him again.
Yeah, I know. He's just like, goodbye. Goodbye, Darth.
Goodbye. Yeah, he starts calling him Darth, which is a title, not a name, but
yeah,
he does say like, that in A New Hope.
Goodbye, Vader.
So, but he does call him Darth in A New Hope. So it makes sense, I guess. Only a master of evil, Darth.
Oh, and he probably says that because he's like, he doesn't call him Vader because it's like he still knows it's Anakin, kind of.
That, or in 1977, George Lucas actually had his name as Darth Vader. And then he changed it later because Lucas changes everything.
That's probably it.
His first name probably was Darth in 1977. But yeah. So it's kind of like episode 3 again. He also starts the fight by saying, I'll do what I must, which is...
Yeah, he does. He's like, I'll do what I must.
And then he's like, then you will die.
Then you will die.
Which is the play on the, you will try.
Yeah.
From the episode 3. So yeah, it plays up a lot of like nostalgia baiting, but it's just so good that I'll let it
go. It kind of... Because what's leading into, it's like, okay, it's pretty decent.
Right. The one thing
I don't mind it as much.
Right. The one thing I will complain about is that before we did this, I showed you a YouTube video. And so this guy took the scene, he took out all the Reva fight part and edited the scene together so it doesn't cut away. And then he put in the John Williams score. And it is like a perfect 10.
Yeah, it's the John Williams score really elevated it, like, because I guess with Star Wars, music is pretty important.
Right.
I would say in Star Wars, so like it sets the mood and atmosphere and everything else.
Yeah, well, a lot of people, it's been said in the past that the original Star Wars was only the hit it was because it was saved in the editing and music.
Oh yeah, so, I do agree with that.
But not using John Williams' score here, I think, was criminal.
Yeah, that was pretty, like, after that random French guy that did it.
yeah, whatever. Yeah. So I don't know why they didn't do that, because the music we get is fine, but it's not Williams.
No, John Williams is definitely like big, epic, has emotion to it, I guess. This one was like, I didn't even remember the music. I didn't realize there was music been playing, actually.
Yeah, basically.
And I watched this today and I don't remember there being music. That's a weird thing.
Right. Yeah. And then what annoys me more is the scenes after the fight is over. So we get like the closure where they wrap up the show. And Kenobi goes to Alderaan and sees Leia for the last time. And when
it gives back Lola.
Lola's there, and Leia just ignores Kenobi and just runs right to Lola.
Yeah, I know. It's like, who cares about Lola? It's like, who cares about Lola?
And but before that, you get Vader talking to Palpatine.
Yeah, and he's like, what did he say? It was like,
Palpatine's such an ass. I love it.
yeah, he's just like
seem upset.
My friend. Yeah, you seem upset, my friend.
It's
Like you have talked to your old master or something. You can't get behind that old master.
Right. And then so Vader reassures him that his focus is complete or whatever. Like he's not worried about Kenobi anymore, even though he obviously is.
Yeah.
And then we get the Imperial March, and this is
I know it plays there.
This is what I'm saying. We get these scenes where Vader's just sitting in his chair, and now John Williams' score kicks in. And then the next scene,
they only had enough to play like 5 seconds.
Yeah. And then the next scene's the Alderaan thing, where he says goodbye to Leia, but we get some interesting stuff here. First off, Bail Organa is like, we could never repay you. And it's like, well, you could try.
Yeah.
I mean, you are Senator / King of Alderaan. I don't understand quite how that works because Leia's a princess.
Yeah, I guess that doesn't make any sense.
So is Bail's wife the queen?
I thought Alderaan, if I remember from, I don't know how the game's canon is anymore compared to, because I think they're all houses. I think that at least, if I remember correctly, in the Old Republic or whatever, because Organa house, it's like a house. Yeah. So it must be like dukes or something, I
guess. But they only ever say he's a senator.
Yeah. So like they're senator / dukes / they're like a monarchy / like Senate.
Well, I guess it's like Naboo.
Republic.
Naboo's like that too, I guess, because they like elect queens and crap in Naboo. But anyway, yeah. So Kenobi does say an interesting thing to Leia that kind of like is a retcon to fix the problem, because everybody's been saying she shouldn't know Kenobi.
Yeah.
Because the years ago you served my father in the Clone Wars stuff. And here Kenobi tells her explicitly that basically no one should know that we know each other for our safety.
Yeah. For your safety and my safety.
Right. So, and then they part ways with Leia's theme playing again. So now we got John Williams' score again for a nothing scene.
Actually, did they? I guess they had the origin story of the holster. It's like,
oh yeah, that was bizarre.
The holster. Yeah, I was like, you just gave a kid a gun holster. It's like, I have something for you.
Is that a thing in the original trilogy? I went back and looked, and it just looked like a regular holster. It didn't look like the one in the show. And she only has it like in Return of the Jedi or whatever.
Yeah, she like lost it. She like, yeah. I guess that would be it.
It's weird. I thought maybe it was a thing that's in the original movies, because Disney loves doing that crap.
Yeah,
it's like the dice.
The dice, and then the plane or whatever. Because at the end of this one, he gives that plane back to Luke again. It's like,
he's really dead set on making sure Luke gets that Skyhopper.
So he could have it in A New Hope.
Yeah. So like Disney loves to look at things and then like obsess over them to the point like nobody cares. Like I didn't know there was gold dice hanging off of the Millennium Falcon's dashboard or whatever until they made such a big deal about it in the sequels and Solo. I'm like, okay.
But now the holster, it's like,
now it's all about
you had a holster.
All right, it's all about Leia's holster now, which I didn't even know was a thing. And then the very last sequence we get is Kenobi back on Tatooine. And he has kind of a conversation with Owen and Beru. And this potentially leads into season 2 if we get one, because he seems to be taking more of like a backseat approach to protecting Luke. Because he's like,
you can do it. Beru and Owen, you guys can take care of him.
Right. Especially
I'll be there eventually. I'll be there sooner or later.
Yeah, I'll show up if there's a problem. But so he doesn't seem like he's going to be just sitting there all the time watching over Luke. He's going to go off and do his own thing.
And he left that little container in his cave or whatever that he cleaned up. He's like, just left that container sitting there.
Yeah. So he gets to talk to Luke because Owen's like, do you want to meet him?
Yeah.
And then we get the thing everyone has been waiting for since the series was announced. He says, hello there.
Yeah. Hello there.
And then Luke Skywalker says, General Kenobi.
Yes.
4 arms sprout out.
Yeah.
And we get the Force theme here, another John Williams track.
Yes.
And then he gets on his flesh-eating camel and wanders back into the Dune Sea or whatever. But then along the way, we see a familiar face.
Yes.
So Master Qui-Gon.
Master Qui-Gon.
So Qui-Gon has returned.
Yes. Shows up. Finally.
So, which is when I went into this episode, I said to myself that I didn't have high hopes for this after some of the other episodes. And I said to myself, I want 2 things. I want a cool fight with Vader and I want to see Qui-Gon. So I got both things that I wanted.
Yes.
So I can't really complain. And the lightsaber fight was really cool. So,
yeah, that was definitely the highlight. I would say that's probably the highlight of this whole series.
Yeah. And
For
Qui-Gon
sure.
was great. Like seeing him was really cool.
Yeah.
So they could potentially have a season 2.
Yeah, because
we'll see.
Definitely Obi-Wan he's become more of his form now. I guess he's definitely back to the old
final
Obi-Wan
form.
Yes, instead of being the PTSD racked guy.
Yeah. And Qui-Gon Qui-Gon should be like, well, did you train the boy?
Yeah, it's like,
I
gave you that job. Did you finish it?
Obi-Wan's like, ooh, right, the boy. About that.
He's now the terror of the galaxy, by the way.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Qui-Gon.
Yeah. The midichlorians were wrong.
Great job.
I'm not sure where, I could see that could be season 2, but where would they go from here? Other than being maybe some of the adventures of Obi-Wan, maybe? I don't know. But
yeah, you could take Obi-Wan off world because they said he's going to take less of an active approach with defending Luke or whatever.
Yeah.
So you could do stuff. You could do stuff with that Jedi network that they set up here.
Oh yeah, the path. That could be one.
Because they talk about Quinlan Vos, but we never saw him. And
Hodge seems to be very important, apparently.
For some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like a swindler.
There's definitely stuff you could do, but I don't think they need to have them fight Vader again.
Yeah, because Vader has got to be doing his own thing now, fighting the world. I guess maybe more of the Grand Inquisitor. Maybe
you could have them fight Inquisitors. Maybe. Oh, also Reva renounces being an Inquisitor.
Oh yeah, Reva has become more I don't know if she's considered, probably not. Maybe a gray Jedi now.
Yeah, maybe. But she buries her lightsaber in the sands of Tatooine, along with the other 45 lightsabers that are buried in Tatooine.
Yeah, exactly. There's lightsabers everywhere. Yeah, because those are things. So maybe she's getting trained by Obi-Wan.
I don't know what she's doing, to be honest.
Yeah, because he's like, you're free now. You can do whatever you want.
We so free.
Yeah. So I guess maybe that could be it. Because maybe she kind of renounces that part.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of, which I could see Reva's character being good. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of depends on what they do.
Yeah.
But we don't see her. She just leaves. I guess she just leaves. Just leaves.
I think it was implied that she just went into hiding or whatever, like Obi-Wan was doing.
Yeah.
Just
maybe it becomes more the path thing or something, or
maybe or just retired altogether from doing any of this.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're going to do with that. There's rumors of a Kenobi season 2. There's rumors of a Reva show. There's rumors of all kinds of stuff. So we shall see.
Yes.
What the plan is. So what would be your rating for this episode?
This episode probably more 8 or 9.
Yeah, I would say
for sure. Because this is definitely the episode of all the episodes of the season. This is the one.
Right. Yeah, we've rated some episodes as high as 8. So I'm gonna say this is also an 8 for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's problems for sure, but
yeah,
that lightsaber fight is really good, and we got a lot of the stuff that we got Qui-Gon in there. They kind of tied up the ending so it doesn't screw with A New Hope too much.
Yeah. They did a pretty decent job with that, at least.
So yeah, they did clean it up.
And seeing Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan's always nice.
Oh yeah, he's great.
And being really good, like especially with the Vader scene, it's like with him actually acting pretty well.
Yeah, no, he was
yeah, that's pretty decent.
Yeah, I had no problem with Ewan
acting. It's good they had that, and Hayden Christensen coming back and seeing him in the Vader suit instead of having those like other 3 other guys that are doing it.
Yeah. So overall, it was pretty good. I think this show as a whole would maybe be like a 6 or 7.
Yeah, 6. It's not like the best show, but it wasn't bad either.
No, it's not horrible. It's not that bad.
Like I didn't like think I wasted my time or anything like that, so that's always a good thing.
No, and they did stick the landing more or less.
Yeah. At least that's a good thing. At least that's one bad thing about shows is sometimes they either screw the ending up so badly. It's like,
yeah,
this is horrible. But they actually did a pretty decent ending because it kind of tied a lot of things up. So,
yep. All right, so I think that's going to do it for the review of the Obi Wan Kenobi show.
Yes.
So if you like our reviews, consider hitting the like button and maybe subscribing for more content like this in the future. I'm sure we'll do reviews of the next Star Wars show as well as
or some other shows,
various Marvel shows, and also just any show really.
Yeah, I think our next major review probably is going to be Stranger Things,
yeah,
season 4. So
yep, so stick around for that if that's something that interests you. And thanks for listening. See ya.